as you become more of a senior developer, you want to not only be good at the technology and the code, but make sure it's helpful for your organization. Yeah, so I started off as a developer a long time ago. I've been an industry analyst at Redmonk and other places and worked on M&A. But for the past 8 or so years, I've worked at Pivotal and now VMware. And really, I spend most of my time studying how large organizations get better at software, both the practices they follow and the tools that they use. Yeah, so I went over I call it 7 lessons learned after 7 years of running platforms. And it's all about, if you look at the developer platforms that organizations run, it's a little bit about what the technology is, but it's mostly about how they change the way the processes they follow, the way they think about how they build infrastructure and provide it, and then also the way they really do marketing and raise awareness around it, how they think about their infrastructure as a product. At VMware, we have 3 things developers use. One, we are the stewards, the main committers for Spring, a framework that layers on top of Java that chances are, if you do enterprise Java programming, you use Spring. And it just, as it's always done, it helps make Java better and has all sorts of implementations of things. And then we have another product called the Tanzu Application Platform, which is a developer platform that you put on top of Kubernetes that helps automate the builds and the ways you deploy things, even helps how it's run and kind of scales up at scale and does all your compliance and security, and also has your internal developer portal. And then we also have the Tanzu Application Service, which is based on Cloud Foundry, a platform as a service that all sorts of companies like Mercedes-Benz and various governments, JP Morgan Chase and others use, which is also a development platform. It's kind of like, it's inspired by Heroku, if you remember that platform as a service. I think what's important to them is the idea of how do you scale this to teams of teams, or more teams, and put in place standardized ways of doing things, right? So as you become more of a senior developer, you want to not only be good at the technology and the code, but make sure it's helpful for your organization. And one of the better ways to make sure your software is helpful for the organization is to reduce toil, to kind of make it easier to develop things, but also make it easier to follow the governance and the compliance and the security that you have. So across all of those 3 stacks, especially the Tanzu Application Platform and Tanzu Application Service, the senior developer can say, here are the default template, the ways that we will do applications, the ways we will configure them and deploy them, so that the other developers can just focus on the actual UIs, if you will, and really have the standard way of doing application development in their organization. You know, once you move up to the executive level, you know, of course you're kind of interested in software, but you're really interested in that business side. Like, are our costs good? Are we making sure to follow all of the governance that we need? Like at a bank, you have to be compliant or you get shut down, basically. But then you're also thinking about, very much so like the senior developers, how do we spread this out to thousands of developers? And how do we make sure that we have a reliable 5-10-year platform that we're building here? And then how do I also work with the business side to show them that we can help them and the software that we're doing helps them out? So if you're building up from what a platform does, it makes developers faster, it allows you to standardize the way that you're doing things and make sure it's secure and compliant. At the C level, what you see is that we now have this capability that we built in our organization that we can go to the business side of the organization and just start to ask them what they want us to do. And we can deliver more faster and more reliably and not just come up with some excuse like, I don't know, the plumbing's broken, right? Like, we didn't deliver our stuff in time because computers, right? So it's just a more reliable way of the infrastructure you have into the software. And if you go to Coté.io, you can see podcasts that I do and the newsletter that I have and various other things like that. And of course, if you go to tanzu.vmware.com, you can look at all of those VMware Tanzu things.
Thanks for watching the video. If you want to learn more, click on one of these. Yeah, here we go. You clicked, right? Okay.